Hi, welcome to my channel, Takoyaki Tarot. Today is Friday, August 22nd, 2025. So, before I get started, I want to remind anyone that's watching that these messages are not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. If they resonate with you and gives you clarity, great. If it does not, then don't force it to be your story. Okay. So, oh, it's hot. So it's beautiful outside today. The birds are chirping, the bugs are bugging. It's nice. There's like a nice breeze outside too. Alright, I'm going to start off with a karma deck. My goodness, why is it still so hot? I mean, I just brewed the cup of coffee, so I just gotta let it wait. Alright, I'm gonna get like two. That's so funny because I was just thinking about cancer. That's why I was laughing, because I was thinking about something that had to do with cancer. And we have the fourth house here that came out. Yeah, this is about your fourth house. What makes you feel secure? Support your home base or family. You could be a mother, or this is just maybe some of you are healing in the. Okay, two things. Some of you are in the process of healing your mother wounds, if you have them. If that resonates, then you know what I'm talking about. But others of you have already healed your mother wounds, right? And if you're divine feminine, your womb, if you've been feeling like a... How do I explain it? Hold on, there's a commercial. Alright, I'm back. So, a lot of you could be feeling like a little... like a... prickly, sparkly feeling in your womb area. That's a good sign of being able to manifest. Okay, I'm just putting my feet up because this is more comfortable this way. So yeah, so that's a good thing. Okay, and the more that you heal those wounds that you're holding in your body, or especially in those, like in your sacral area, right? Also like your base and your root, more so your sacral though. That's good because you're making way, like you're allowing the energy to continue to flow, right? So I'm getting a lot of you have already healed your root chakra and your base chakra, right? And a lot of you could be right now working on your sacral chakra, or I don't know, just maintaining it, I should say. Okay, but that's good. That is so good. What makes you feel secure? Support. I feel like you, collective, you now have like a firm understanding of who you are, what you want. You're more grounded in a sense. Like, I feel like the fourth house, like when it comes to moms, I feel like moms, their number one priority is their babies, making sure that their babies are safe and comfortable. And the best way for them to do that is by nurturing them, providing for them, making sure the home is good, the home is safe, the environment is safe, right? You're not going to put your baby in a dangerous environment. Heck no, right? You're not going to do that. As a divine feminine, as a karmic feminine, I can't speak because that's just going to irritate me. So, but as a divine feminine, like, even if you're a divine masculine, like if you're in that father, if you're a father, right? You're going to make sure that your children are protected and provided for, right? But I feel like whether or not you could be a mother, you could be a father, divine feminine, divine masculine. And I feel like if you guys are, it makes it so much easier to parent, essentially, right? Because you're not parenting out of scarcity. You're not parenting out of I don't know what to do, I don't have help, I don't have this, I don't have a village, I don't have that. You're not parenting out of that, right? You're just not parenting in that mindset and that energy, right? Because when you do that, it has an effect on the children, and then the children grow up and then they do that, and then, right, it's like that. So, but I feel like this is something that you've been working on for a very long time, which is amazing. I'm seeing all these trees, and it looks like there's roots and vines. I just feel like it's easier to breathe. Your home base or family. What makes, like, to you, what would home be? And I feel like a lot of you can, like, you may not be able to say it, but you can certainly feel it. Like, you know, home is where the heart is kind of energy. I'm telling you, this healing process is like, it's a process, right? It's a never-ending process. I don't know, there's something very sweet about this, right? I'm getting like that sweet, nurturing energy, whether you're a mother, a father, divine feminine, divine masculine, right? It feels very sweet and wholesome. I'm seeing like a pie being put in the windowsill, cooling off. For some reason, I'm seeing 1950s households, right? More so because of like a lot back then, people took more pride in their home and their appearance and their family. It seems like it, right? I don't know, I'm not from there. So, but that image, right? So you can have a lot of like pride for your home, your family, your environment, your children, if you have children. Whatever you deem as a priority, you're nurturing that. You're pouring into that, right? With this fourth house energy, that Cancer energy, that water energy, right? That nurturing energy. I feel like this is, you're pouring into things that, like, oh, this makes me feel good. This makes me feel safe. This makes sense. You're pouring into those things. I don't know, there's something sweet about it. I'll get one more. Okay, is that it? Nothing else is coming out? I feel like there's one more in here. Eighth house, Scorpio energy. So we have a lot of water energy already. Fourth house, eighth house, that's Cancer, Scorpio. So you could be a Cancer, you could be a Scorpio, or you have a Scorpio or a Cancer trying to get into your energy. But I feel like not the nature. You know how like when you're, you know how like when a root gets damaged, right? A lot of like like when you see a bad plant at Lowe's or Home Depot, or not Home Depot, a nursery, like a plant nursery or whatever, right? 9 out of 10 times, like, people just don't, think about getting that plant because it's like already dead or damaged, right? But it takes, someone will just see the potential in that. They'll grab it, heal the roots, clear out all the damaged leaves and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, in a couple months, that thing is blooming like no tomorrow. But I feel like in this situation, I feel like you definitely nurtured yourself. You healed something, but that was you doing it. Like, I feel like it was you and the Most High God. It was like something done together. As a life or death issue, getting and using power, use other people's resources. 8th house. So that's part of the 8th house. Interesting. Using other people's resources. But I feel like there's a responsibility that comes with that. You know? Like, you have access to all of these resources, all of these, like, connections. But the reason why you have access to them is because you're not gonna, like, abuse those connections, abuse those things, right? Let's say you have access to the company car, you can use it whenever you want, but you don't abuse the company car or the company card or whatever the case it is, right? That's why the 8th house has access to other people's things, because, and that's another thing, and it might not even be, it's not always like things, right? And people tend to trust 8th house placement Scorpios with their secrets, their knowledge, their things, because they're trustworthy. A good Scorpio. A bad Scorpio, don't. Alright. But a good one in their north node, right? People are always telling them their trauma and this and that, and oh, can you watch this for a second, right? It's because people are they trust Scorpios with that kind of stuff. I'm not even sure what the problem is right now with this reading. It doesn't seem like there is. But it could be someone does not like the fact that you have access to what you have access to. Alright? So someone really could have an issue with the fact that not only do you have all these connections, you have access to all these things, but you have support as well. I think that's what it is. I think I just figured it out. That's the problem. Not for you, collective. You're good. But there's this energy where someone has a really big problem with that. They feel like you don't deserve all of the support, all of these, all of other people's, you don't deserve access to other people's resources, time, information, knowledge, money, things. Someone really has a problem with the fact that you have that. Getting and using power, like you have power, collective, right? Someone does not like that. You have support, you have power, and you have access to whatever you want to have access to. My nose is getting stuffy now. So to whoever this person is, or this organization, this cult coven, this group of people, they really have an issue with that. That's the problem. They have an issue with that. And I feel like the only reason why you're in this energy, because of that 8th house, that Scorpio transformation, this is a phoenix, right? You transformed something that had to do with the base of who you are, which, fixed your roots, your damaged roots, essentially, right? Whatever damaged roots that you had from childhood trauma, generational, blah, 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 whatever. You did the work. You healed it. You mended the roots. You fixed them, right? And now you're blooming, right? You transformed something that had to do with your roots and your base. Because now, what's this? The collective can manifest like there's no tomorrow, right? And you can manifest like crazy now. So you healed something within you, right? And now you're walking this. But the thing is, too, your power is allowing you access to these things. Your power. It's your power, right? So it's one thing that you're in your power, but it's one thing that your power is giving you access. It just doesn't seem fair to these people. But who cares about fair? Favor isn't fair, one. And two, like, that's like saying let's say a corporate job, okay? Let's say a corporate job, and you worked your way from like a little cubicle, you worked your way up, right? And the higher you go within the company, like the more clearance you have on your badge, right? However that works, right? Because that's part of the title, right? Obviously, if you're on like the 3rd floor or like the 5th floor or the 8th floor, you're gonna have clearance and access to whatever is on those floors. It's just how it is. But there are people around you or a person around you that really has an issue. It's one thing to have the title, to have the power, but to also have access to whatever that power, that title comes with, that's a problem. So I just figured it out because I'm like, what was the problem? That's the problem. Not for you. You're fine. It's whoever has this issue, they're just gonna have to suck it up and get over it, because like if you really feel that way, then do what you gotta do to work your way up the ranks, essentially. Right? It's like the more you rank up, obviously it's just how it is. But and I feel like because you're stepping into this power, like you're owning your power. You're not giving it away. Like, here's a piece of power for you, here's a piece of my power for you, here's a piece of me for you. You're not doing that. This is my power. I'm keeping it. I don't have to share. It's my power. Go get your own power. Right? And people don't like that even. They don't like that either. They hate that even more. You're stepping into your power. You have access of the beyond because of your power, and you're keeping your power. You're not giving your power away. You're not sharing. What's the problem? That's the problem. Like, if you really feel some type of way, go do it yourself. I'm getting it's very intimidating. To you, you might be like, la 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 la, blue skies, sunny days. But to other people, they're looking at you as competition. You're now considered an adversary. And it's so crazy because you could just be thinking about, what's that beetle making that noise? Right? But these people are just like, how do I compete with the collective? How do I one up the collective? How do I trick the collective? How do I talk to the collective? How do I approach the collective? How do I be like the collective? What do I do? What's their playbook? And it's just like, what are you talking about? What playbook? Right? You can have these people that are studying you, right? Okay, so at 8 o'clock they drink their coffee, and at 10 o'clock they go for a walk, and at 11 o'clock they take a nap, and okay, so we got to do the same thing. Like, what? And that's not gonna work because that's not. I don't know. Someone's trying to break down like your day or the things that you do down to like a logical, scientific level, like trying to make it make sense in their mind, because it doesn't make sense as to how you're so powerful, how you have so much access, and how you're able to stand in your power and manifest. Logically, it doesn't make sense. So they're trying to analyze it, trying to break it down to see like what, maybe if they can, and it's just like, I'm literally just eating a bowl of noodles. Like, there's no science behind that. It just tastes good. That's it. Okay, so now there's corn. Is there a reason why you're eating the corn and the carrots? And what you put the carrots in there? Now did you put the corn first or the carrots first? And you're like, what? Someone is really going crazy trying to analyze you down to the T. And I mean, good luck. Good luck with this. And this is a lot of water energy too. So someone could try to make so if you're a water sign, let's say, hypothetically speaking, for the sake of the reading, you're a water sign, right? Or you have water highly aspected in your chart, a lot of water, right? I'm getting more than 2 waters in your chart. And this person would be an air sign, hypothetically speaking, for the sake of the reading, as an example for entertainment purposes only, okay? Let's say you are a water sign, and this is an air sign, and this is a lot of water. 4th house, 8th house, Cancer, Scorpio. So it's all flow and emotions and feelings and intuitions and gut, right? It's all of that. So you have an air sign that's trying to make sense of your intuition. They're trying to analyze and, what's the scientific formula to your intuition? And, so you moved this way. How come you didn't move that way? And you're like, well, because I felt it. Okay, so walk me through the steps of those feelings. And that's not how that works. You don't do that. You don't do that. But that's this energy. They have a problem because they cannot figure this out. And listen, if God really wanted you to know, you would know. You wouldn't be sitting there racking your brain, getting frustrated, getting angry. No, this doesn't make sense. Let me start over. No, this doesn't make sense. How? Right? Like, if this is an air sign, you are going to mentally exhaust yourself before the collective even, like, what was that? Let me look over there, right? It's giving like a paparazzi or like reporter, collective. Tell me about how'd you do, collective. And it's just like, you're gonna have to do like a Spartan kick, like, damn, back up, right? But I feel like this is someone who's like the opposite sign and element of you. Okay, as they have a different sun sign than you. All right, you could have the same moon, the same rising, same signs in your natal chart, but I feel like this person, they're trying to figure out how water flows, essentially, how your intuition goes and how it works and blah 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 blah. And I feel like they're trying to analyze things that are irrelevant to them, right? I feel like the reason why they're doing this is because they're trying to take notes. But I'm getting something that I talked about in one of my readings recently, where, let's say, this person, they're trying to take notes, right? Because they're trying to figure things out for themselves. Like, they're whatever. But it would be like they're trying to take notes down on how you healed from being bit by a dog, so that way they can heal from when they got hit by a bus. It's so different, right? The therapies, the medication, the therapies, did I say that already? The exposure therapies, the whatever, it's all different, right? They're trying to study how you healed for something, so that way they too can heal from their thing. But it's like, it's just two different things, man. It's just two different things. It's just not, whatever, they're taking down notes and it's like irrelevant to like them. I keep burping, sorry. It's irrelevant to them. And that's why it's not working for them. It's not working. And they're getting frustrated. I swear, I'm getting like a heavy air sign. Karmic air sign. Not an air sign in the north, no. Okay? I think air signs are great. I love air signs. Right? There's always one sign in every group that I'm just like, maybe not. Let me just, right? So, but yeah. So I feel like they're trying to make sense of something they're trying to make logical sense of something that is just kind of like of spirit, essentially. They're trying to make logical sense of spirit, which, I mean, if they're an air sign, you can't blame them because it has to make sense, right? But at the same time, like, there are just some things that you just kind of like have to let it go, let it be. All right, I'm gonna move into tarot now, and then let me see. I just heard, not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. So. Okay, no, I don't know why. I'll get 6 to 8 cards. It's so interesting, too, because I was just thinking about, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I was thinking about how people are so quick to be like, demon, 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 devil, devil, devil. But when you're doing that, when you're in the energy, you tend to miss all the angels, right, that are around you. It could be simple as a cashier, right? A friendly, here, I'll open the door for you. I don't know. It's just something, I don't know. I just feel like there are angels all around. Isn't that a song? I don't know. But I'm also hearing angels in the outfield, but I know that's a movie. And I feel like in that movie, they were like helping the little boy win the baseball team or something like that. So I feel like you have angels helping you And it's so funny because you're like always on point. You're always hitting the mark. You're always on target. You're always, right? It's essentially as if like you never miss a beat. So that could be why this person, they're racking their brain, because it just doesn't make sense. How come they never miss a beat? How come they never miss a beat? But then you got angels in the outfield. You got angels helping you and supporting you, and right? It's kind of like you shoot a ball, and for some reason the ball is like maybe that much, so the angel would, right? And they're like, how did that happen? Whoa, they did it! Slam dunk! Slam dunk is basketball. I don't care about sports. I really don't. I like badminton though. Badminton's fun. Anyways, we have the Knight of Pentacles upright. Okay. So I feel like you could be conserving your energy, moving very slow, taking your time, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I feel like the thing about air too, so if this is an air sign, I'm getting heavy air. So if this is an air sign, air moves very fast. They're always, right, air signs. Sometimes you're like, oh my god, relax, but they just can't help it because they're like the wind, right? I feel like air is like the fastest in the deck, or in fastest element as well. Water is gonna, so pentacles are the slowest ones, right? It's earth. They'll move when they want to move, when they're gonna move, and when they move, you're gonna notice it, all right? But other than that, they're gonna take their time. So I feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, right, this earth, and the 4th house and the 8th house, that water energy, I feel like this person, there's something about their energy that's like zip, zip, zap, zap, zip, 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 zap. Like they're constantly moving, and you are the opposite. You could be water, like a babbling brook. You ever see those little lakes or brooks or whatever? And what is that? Oh, and they're just like, it's not like a rushing river or a raging ocean. It's just a babbling brook taking its time going down the stream, right? I feel like that's your energy, and you have like a gust of wind trying to like, okay, so the water went over here, so the water's over there, okay, and they're driving themselves crazy because they can't. And the problem with air is that they can't really be inside the water. All right, they can only observe from a distance or from a angle. And I think that bothers them too, because they're trying to get deeper, but they're not water. Okay? Air has its place, water has its place, earth has its place, fire has its place. And I feel like whoever this air sign is, they're trying to get deeper into like your business, your energy, and that's just not their place. And again, they're getting more frustrated because they just can't figure something out. And when it comes, I feel like Cancer and Scorpio, they're like the deepest signs. Now, out of the two, Scorpio is the deepest, right? But this is a lot of heavy water right here, right? If I were to put it as a layer, it would be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio for like the deepest layers. Because no shade to Pisces, but I feel like Pisces sometimes can be a little shallow, right? But all right, I said what I said. That is what it is. Okay. But I think a Pisces in their North Node, I feel like they're kind of like the woohoo of the water signs. So they kind of like are like the less intimidating ones of the water signs. Like they make you welcome more. So I do like that about Pisceans, right? Because Cancer and Scorpio, they have a reputation, right, for being moody and dark and right. So I think like Pisces are like the more, yeah, let's go. But anyways, so I feel like you're just taking your time, going with the flow, right? And there's beauty, and like especially listening to your intuition. Doesn't matter what sign you are. Listening to your intuition, that takes time, right? Listening to your intuition it's not always going to be like zip zap zoom 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 zoom, right? It's something that you have to, I'm hearing the word cultivate. You have to cultivate that skill. It takes time to get to a point where you can just easily, okay, this, okay, that, okay, this. It takes time, right? I also feel like you can't or you shouldn't rush water, right? So this is someone who's like essentially like always going, and you're just like, yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna eventually get to the ocean, so I'm just gonna take my time. So what is this? Page of Pentacles on the fence. Interesting. Someone is trying to do some magic, okay, to get you to not pay attention to your priorities, to get you to not pay attention to the things that matters most to you, essentially the things that you call home, the base of who you are, the things that you care about, the things that you want to nurture, the things that you want to pour into. Someone is trying to do magic to like essentially like rip you off of that track. They need to be careful, all right, because now they're messing with God's plan, and God's not going to allow that to happen. God's not going to stand for that, essentially. All right? Especially when you, collective, you are where God has been wanting you to be for a very long time, and you are now where God wants you to be. They need to stop, because they don't have the authority to rip you off the tracks. They need to stop. All right? They're essentially trying to get you to not pay attention or focus on your priorities, the things that matter to you, the thing like what you're putting your power into, right? And the thing is too, the things that you put your power into, the things that you nurture and that you pour into, those things has an effect, right? Let's go back to the plant, the damaged plant, right? You get a damaged plant at the store, at the nursery, whatever. You get it, it's damaged, right? So you got to heal the roots, you got to clean it out. It might be infested with like mites or whatever, so you clean it out. You do what you got to do to make sure, like, listen, I know because I had to do that. I got a palm at Lowe's and it was damaged, sick, and infested. I cleaned it up, repotted it. That thing is good. It's good. It's good. It's healthy, right? So, so when you do those things, it makes way for not only more energy and for yourself, but it's kind of like you healed that plant. Now that plant can bloom, right? Now that's a flower, right? So now other bees can pollinate from it, and and take the seeds, and now that plant is gonna that's those seeds from that plant is gonna be over there, and then it's like that. That's how that works. All because you decided, I can save this plant. I'm gonna heal this. And for a lot of you, you did that to yourself, and you're able to like extend yourself, or like, but not in like in a very unhealthy way. But it's kind of like you're able to bloom, and people can benefit from your energy in a very positive, healthy way. And someone doesn't want you to do that. So for a lot of you, you're doing this, you poured into yourself. There's power in that, because it's like whatever you're healing, there's a positive reaction and an effect. It's like a domino effect, right? Like I said, you take the flower or the plant, you heal it, now it can bloom, bees can pollinate it, right? Birds can carry the seeds and drop it, and now that plant is going to be able to grow in like 6 other locations, and then those plants are going to be able to, right? You just created a whole, I don't know, by healing that one plant, like bees, birds, and roots are good for the soil because it keeps the soil sturdy, right? That's why a lot of mudslides happen, because, so the thing is, when mudslides happen, look to see if there's any trees around, right? Trees are really, really good because it keeps the soil and the dirt steady in place. If there's no trees, if there's no roots, there's nothing to hold all that soil and sand and mud, all right? So you're doing and then it creates like a whole network, right? A whole root network. Listen, whatever you're doing, okay, your energy, you're where you're supposed to be. It's like you're emanating, pulsing, positivity, love. It's good. It's all good things. All right. And someone doesn't want you to be in this energy because you're being seen. You're being noticed. When a flower blooms, all eyes on the flower, right? All eyes on me. When I go downtown, 1 foot on the ground, it's all over the news. Yeah. I'm getting like paparazzi, journalism, spying, stalking, right? When a flower blooms, people stop and look at it. They're like, oh wow, it's so pretty. And they take pictures and they notice it and they smell it and they admire it. That's your energy. You're like a blooming flower and people want to stop and admire it and talk to you and give to you and blah, blah, blah. That's your energy. Someone doesn't want you to be in this energy. Your good energy is having a positive effect around you. And they don't like that. So they're trying to get you to not be in whatever it is that you're focused on, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever it is, whatever. They're trying to get you off track. And they need to stop. Okay? And I feel like if this is an air sign, they're going to exhaust themselves before you even be like, I'm getting like a water spirit. The water spirit is the entire babbling brook. You know how like in the Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, how the lake or the whatever, it was sleeping? And then they were trying to build a bridge over it, and then the lake woke up, and it was like the lake itself was a spirit, and it was like knocking things out of the way. I feel like this that's what I'm seeing. Like a lake waking up. Like, what is that? Who is making that noise? What is all that crap, like racket, right? It's so funny. Yeah, I'm getting, what were they called? Canaanites in the book? First of all, the movies are better than the book, and I rarely say that. But that's because the Chronicles of Narnia book, they're like this thick. Right? They're not very thick. But the movies did do them justice. Okay? So that's cool though. But they weren't even from that land of Narnia. They were actually from here. This universe. But they were trying to build a bridge over it to make it easier for them to cross. And then, Aslan woke everything up, right? So the lake woke up. It was like a spirit, and it knocked everything down. I was like, you're not about to chain me. And I feel like that's what it is. Like, this person, they want to like dominate you or like have some control over you. They feel like you're too powerful, and it's like freaking them out. My love, my baby, hi. Mwah. How did you sleep?
Good.
Yeah? Are you hungry?
So dry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you can't go out there yet.
I like her.
I know. But you have to wait. Hold on. Oh! Okay, never mind. I thought I ended the video. But, so, that's what I'm seeing. I feel like someone's, like, trying to, like, put a chain or, like, a bridge or, like, trying to find a way to, like, have control over you. But they just can't figure out, like, just because they feel like your power is too, like, you're too dangerous with this power. Right? But they don't even know why you even have this in the first place. They don't even... I feel like they want to be the judge of this power so bad, right? But they're not. I think it's very intimidating to them. Especially because if this person is an air sign, it's very intimidating to them, and they feel like you shouldn't have this because they can't make sense of it. They don't understand, right? And this could be someone who's been seeking to acquire this kind of power, right? And here you are just going with the flow, just a babbling brook on a nice sunny day, right? Just the Knight of the Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck, and you're just taking your time, right? Meanwhile, if this is an air sign, and they're constantly moving, and they're like, it just doesn't make sense to them how you have this power. It doesn't make sense. I feel like if anything, this is just a good reminder for you to just stay focused on what you're focused on, right? Things that matter the most to you, just keep focusing on that. Look, Knight of Wands upright. Yeah. Just keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. Keep going. All right. And it may look like you're not even doing anything, but you're absolutely doing something. What was it? I'm getting that one. I think it's like this oil thing. It's like it's a really, thank you. It's a really, 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 really dense oil, and it drops once every 6 years, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything. But hold on, it's like an experiment, right? But it's doing something, right? You just can't see it because it's not going fast, fast, fast. But it is dropping. It's doing something. Hold on, I got to look it up. The pitch drop experiment. That's what it is. Are you cold, baby? Okay, hold on. Alright, I'm back. So yeah. I feel like with the nine of wands, just keep doing what you're doing. There's no rush. Alright? And I feel like you have an understanding of that. I feel like I think the problem, I picked this up yesterday. There was like a hustle, or was it the day before yesterday? The energy was like hustle, bustle, gotta go, hustle, bustle, gotta go. But I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles here, you're just taking your time. You're not in any rush. And I feel like because you're just taking your time, and whoever this person is, they feel like because they can't see you working, or they don't see, like they can't see it happening, it must not be happening. Oh yeah, the pitch drop experiment, right? This is what I was talking about. So the pitch drop experiment is a scientific demonstration that shows how pitch, a highly viscous substance, can slowly flow over many years, with drops falling roughly once a decade, though sometimes more or less frequently depending on the specific setup. This experiment was created to prove that substances appearing solid, like a pitch, a type of tar, are actually very thick liquids. So if you see it, I think they had one of the drops, I think it was like a year or two ago, right? They had like a whole celebration or whatever like that too. And they just, I think it's because they were recording it, right? They were recording it for like every day, right? And it's like, it doesn't, the naked eye, like you're looking at it, it doesn't seem like it's moving at all, right? So, and then I feel like that's what this person, that's why they're so irritated with you. Oh, they're irritated with you. That's why they're so irritated with you, because every time they look at you, you're the Nine of Pentacles energy. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything, and that irritates them. That irritates them, right? But the Nine of Wands, you are doing something. All right, you're doing something. You're just taking your time. But when they look at you, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything. So to them, it doesn't make sense how, if they're looking at you and you're not doing anything, but you have all of this power, all of this access, all of this connection, all of this, how is it that you have all of these things? But when they look at you, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything. And that irritates them. That makes them so mad. It's frustrating them because they don't get it. They don't get it. And it's not for them to understand. Unfortunately for them, it's not for them to understand. Stay in your lane. Right? They're trying to understand how the machinations of you, how that works, your blessings, your power, your this, your that, how it works. But you're running yourself ragged, getting frustrated, getting irritated, and mentally exhausting yourself. And that should tell you right there, if it was for you to know, you wouldn't be feeling so drained by trying to figure this out. Right? Stay in your lane. Yeah. Look it up, the pitch drop experiment. That's so funny. I'm telling you, this is why it's irritating to them. Because every time they look at you, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything, but you're the Nine of Wands. Like to them, you're not doing anything, but you're fighting, you're going, you're not stopping. Whatever it is that you're doing, they can't see it, and it's not for them to see. Right? That would be like wanting to know what someone does in the bathroom of their own home. Like, you're taking a shit, what do you want to know? right? It's something where it's like invasive, and it's like they're frustrated because they can't know, and because what they're trying to know is borderline invasive. It's your business. It's it has nothing for them. It has nothing. I don't know. It's just not their business. They want to know how you keep going, how you have all this success, how you have all this power. Like, how is it that you keep going? And that's because of this. You know what? You just are focused on the things that matter most. All right, and that's why. And the thing is, because you're focused on the things that matter most to you. Not what Sally cares about, not what Bob cares about, not what whoever cares about. I don't care about what other people care about. I care about, what matters to me, my priorities, what I care about, what I love, what I want to, invest in. I don't care about other people's business. All right? And that's the problem. I feel like people care more about your business than you care about, like, man, it's just like, come on. Alright, I still have time. The star reverse. Listen. I knew it was an Aquarius. But I digress. So this could be a karmic Aquarius. Alright. You could be an Aquarius. Alright. You could be an Aquarius in their North Node. This could be a karmic Aquarius that's trying to figure this out. Feminine Aquarius and masculine Aquarius. Karmic Aquarius. Right? Or this could just simply be someone who feels like they're comparing their future, right, to who you are today. There's something about, like, who you are today is having an effect on their future, which is the craziest thing, right? Because what I do with my life should have nothing to do with your future, like, right? So I feel like that's another reason why they're so irritated. I feel like, too, because this person they feel like they should be having this energy, they should be having all this power, all this access, all this information. That could be another thing, too, right? They could, right? And I feel like they're so logical, right? This is someone who takes pride in their intelligence, right? But when it comes to you, they can't figure this out. And it's like, honestly, the only reason why they want to figure this out is because they want to, like, they just want success for the sake of success, right? But your success is, like, you're taking a plant, you're healing it, and it blooms, right? And the bees are pollinating it, and seeds are spreading, and now that plant has, like, 2 other plants, and then, 3 other plants, and now you can give 1 plant away, and that person, your success it has, like, a purpose, like, this person, they just want this power just to have power. These resources just to have resources. Probably not even to do anything with them, just to hoard it. This is mine, mine, mine. I'm getting, like, Scrooge energy, right? Because the reason why they want what you have, it's for selfish means, selfish gains. It's not for the betterment of the future, for the betterment of yourself. It's not, right? Your harvest is never truly your harvest, right? Your harvest is, to help and spread and share and uplift and blah, blah, right? But this is someone who, like, they want to harvest, and then they'll put a gate around it, right? And that's justified. But then you have, they're just not going to share their harvest. I don't know, there's something, this person's like, they could be trying to do something on the internet, or watching you from the internet. Oh, that's what it is. So this person, they're watching you on the internet, trying to see what you care about, what your priorities are, what you're putting your like what you do on a day-to-day basis. They could be watching you on the internet to see if you post any updates, or you could be, this person is a stalker, first of all, right? So let's say you'll post, oh, at the mall, at the store, blah, 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 they're having a sale. This person would go to that store, right? Run there just to catch a glimpse of you, just to catch you in person, just to be able to have a chance to analyze you in person. They will do that. This is this person. That's what they do on the internet. They spend a lot of their times watching you and stalking you, and to see what you post and how you post and when you post, and if you're posting that you're at a certain location, so that, and when were you there, so that way, do they have time to be there, and did you leave already? And this is this person. I'm telling you, this person will mentally exhaust themselves before you even like, what was that? You're like a babbling brook. You're not rushing. You ever see a babbling brook? It's like so slow. I'll get there. I'll get to the ocean when I get to the ocean. So yeah. This person really, I don't know why, but your life right now, they feel like it's getting in the way of their future. And it's really having an effect on them. This person could be suffering from mental health issues, depression, doomsday kind of energy, doom and gloom, very pessimistic, very negative, very snappy, very barking, right? This is a barker. They just and they're just snapping at people, right? Think of like an ankle biter, but in a human form. It would be this person. That's their energy. Always snapping, always barking at people. They could also be like barking orders at people, and people are just like getting annoyed with it. Like, you're not my mom, you're not my boss, you're not my dad. You're like, why are you talking to me like that? Don't talk to me like that, right? But that's their energy, and that's because they just feel like they don't have any hope for their future. This could have been, I feel like the reason why they were doing this, or they feel like this now, the reason why they feel like your right now is affecting their future is because I feel like this person could have been trying to, with this dark magic, trying to like swap with you, right? Take your future and you would have their now, but the way you're living your life right now, it's sorry, no, access denied, you cannot. And they feel like this could have been someone, I've been picking up on this person a lot lately. Someone that, this is like someone who takes things from people. Oh, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? Can I use this? Can I use that? Like, essentially, this person wanted to take your future. And you're like, no, this is my future. This is mine. What are you talking about? I'm not giving you my future. I'm not giving you my blessing. No, I'm not doing that. So now they really feel some type of way because it's like, I can't take the collective's future. I can't, they won't let me. I don't know what to do. So hopeless and so my future, my life. Like, go, get on my face, right? Two of Wands reversed. That, I feel like that was their plan, to take your future, and they can't, right? I feel like this is so pathetic, man. You feel like you have no future unless you take it from someone, right? This is the kind of energy, like, they don't have anything unless they con people out of what they have or manipulate people out of what they have. That's the only plan that they ever have, is like, this is like a conning thief. And when they realize that they can't con you out of your own future, con you out of your own destiny, manipulate you out of your own blessings, they're like, oh, what was me? I just can't. It's just not fair because of collective, and that's just not fair, and I don't understand. Okay, sucks. Bye. I don't know what to tell you. But that was definitely their plan, and that didn't work, obviously. Like, who told you to do that? Right? And I feel like because you changed something, you healed something within your root, right? You healed your roots, essentially. You healed your roots, right? This person, maybe if you had damaged roots, it was possible, right? Or they were given the illusion that it was possible, right? But again, I feel like if they were given that illusion and they went with that illusion, that was just another example as to like who this person was. Like, that was just another thing that I feel like God let them do that so that way you can see who this person really was, right? It's kind of like putting $5 on the table, right, in front of a bunch of thieves to see who tries to take the $5, right? Now you may be like, oh no, they're not going to do it, and God's like, okay, put this $5 right there and walk away and see if that person tries to take it. And if they do, then you know who exactly they are. If they don't, then you know they can stay. You know, do with that what you will, right? And I feel like this person was given the illusion that they can take your future, and they went for it. And God was like, I told you, I needed you to see this, right? And now this person really has taken that to heart. They really, really took that to heart because they really, really thought with the illusion that they were given that they can take your future. And it's like they put all their eggs in the basket when it came to that. My nose is itching. So yeah, they put all their eggs in the basket. They put everything they had onto this. They essentially, like, it's kind of like someone saying, oh, put your life savings in this a once in a lifetime deal and we'll triple, quadruple your money, right? come to find out, they just got scammed out of all their entire life savings. They got conned, right? So the con artist got conned, essentially, right? And they put all their eggs in a basket when it came to this, and it didn't happen. It wasn't ever going to happen. That was just a test for you to see who this person really was. And this could be a karmic Aquarius. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. All right, let me get 3 more cards. The Hermit upright. I feel like that's your energy. You saw what this person was doing. I feel like this is someone you isolated yourself from, or you were put in the isolation program, right? Because God needed you to see who this person was, who these people were. Could be a karmic Aquarius, karmic Aries, karmic Virgo, or this could be one of your signs, or this is just you having to analyze who someone really is, what they really wanted for you, what they're really about, like why someone was even in your energy, why someone even befriended you, why someone even wanted to be around you, be your lover, your friend, your neighbor, your friend, right? Whatever the case it is. I feel like God needed you to see, like, really look at something for what it is. Like, really pay attention to the details. You need to analyze the situation and see it for what it is, right? Not out of rose-colored glasses. You need to see it. For some of you, it could be a karmic Aquarius and a karmic Aries. But I feel like God needed you to see these people, this person, for who they really are, and why, like, like something was illuminated to you when it came to this person, these people. Because I feel like the way the Hermit is looking down, you see, the way, oh, like that, the way the Hermit is looking down at this person, right? It's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. I see. So, yeah. And I also feel like by you, this was also good for your health, right? This was also something that was important for your health. Okay? I also feel like this person was not good for your health. Your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, whatever, your physical health. Okay? So you're over here healing your damaged roots. Alright? And this person, they're just toxic. They can't do anything unless they take it from someone else, or believe anything unless they feel like, you know, it's just so wicked. It's wicked. I also feel like when you distance yourself from these people, this person, your health, your vitality, your health, your energy is skyrocketed, right? This could have been leeches. This could have been a person that was leeching off your energy, siphoning your energy, right? Hoping that if they have enough of your energy, that, you know, by masking themselves in your energy, they can take your energy, or they can take your destiny, right? It's kind of like disguising themselves in your energy, and then your blessing would go to them because they have so much of your energy surrounding them. It's like they're wearing it like a coat. See, I'm the collective, right? But you healed your roots, and then you seen, right, what had to go, what had to stay. This is old roots, it has to go. This is old soil, it has to go. These are dead leaves, it has to go, right? This is dead weight, so it had to go. It is what it is. 2, 4, 6. Let me get 2 more, and then I'll close the reading. Yeah, the dead weight, it just had to go. 3 of Pentacles, upright, very interesting. So this could be you networking, collaborating with people, learning, right? I wanted to say experimenting, but I'm not going to get into that. But this could be like testing theories and seeing, I feel like, you know, experimenting, yeah. I feel like you're in this energy now where you're kind of like testing people, right? Allowing them to show you who they really are. Very interesting energy. Very interesting. I love this. You're learning something. You're learning, right? And I feel like with getting and using power, use other people's resources, right? That's because you know how to, like, you have access to all of this information, this networking, this power, this connections, you just have access to these things, right? I'm also here, you know how to maintain the connections, right? The Ace of Swords on the fence. So I feel like and not only are you inspiring other people, but you're also learning. This is very important, right? You learn something new every day, right? I feel like with the star energy, this is someone who kind of just like, their intelligence is very limited. It's like they just, well, I know everything. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need to know. I don't need to learn. I'm fine. I don't want to know. I don't want to read. I don't want to, right? Okay, that's fine. But don't cry when you feel stuck and stagnant because you knew everything, right? So if you knew everything, how come you're stuck, right? So I feel like because this person is stuck, let's go back to the bridge now from the movie. Because this person is stuck, they're trying to build a bridge off of your back. They're trying to build something off of your back. But like I said, the lake, it woke up, right? It woke up and then knocked that bridge off like, get that weak shit out of here. You're not building anything off of my back. No, sir, no, ma'am. So I feel like because this person is stuck, yes, thank you, God. This person is stuck. Their attempt is to build something off of your back to help them get across, to help them move forward, right? And you're going to be like, you're not using, no. You can either go around or, I don't know, you have to figure it out, but you're not going to build a bridge off of my back. You're not going to use my back as a stepping stone, as a tool. No, you're not doing that. You're going to have to figure it out because it's not going to happen with me. You're not using my back as a stepping stool to get yourself forward, to get yourself out of this stuck. Whatever the stuck is for you, it's not happening. All right. So this is good overall, right? What you're doing is remaining unseen because it's your business, your collaborations. Everyone's learning. Everyone's being inspired. Everyone's good, right? New information, new knowledge. You could also be inspiring other people with what you know. There are things that you know, like just that people are learning from you and vice versa, right? It's kind of like a give and take energy, all right? But the Page of Pentacles on the fence, this person is definitely trying to get you off track of your priorities, but you see who this person is and what they're doing. Roots are healed, blah, 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 blah. And this person is off their rocker, okay? They're unsettled. They're very, very unsettled. Be very cautious of this person, these people. With Temperance in reverse, all right? Could be a karmic Aries, karmic Aquarius, karmic Sagittarius. Karmic Sagittarius. That's funny. And kind of Sagittarius. But yeah. And now if it is a group of people between an Aries, an Aquarius, and a Sagittarius, they're arguing amongst each other. There's no harmony, right? A lot of bicker, arguing. They're not getting along. Okay, if it is one person, which I could be a karmic Aries, karmic Sagittarius, or a karmic Aquarius, right? But I do think it's a karmic Aquarius because I was getting heavy air signs since the beginning of this reading. If it is that person, either way, same thing applies. They're arguing with people, barking at everybody, snapping at everybody. They're seeming unhinged, right? Like there's something they should really go. There's so many apps. Like there's that app called BetterHelp where you can text a therapist, right? There's so many avenues that clearly this person needs some sort of relief or help, okay, or an outlet, right? Because whatever is going on in their lives is too much for them. They're overwhelmed, and on top of that, they're too focused on you. Okay, they're too focused on you, and it's just you don't have the mental fortitude to be focused on the collective right now, right? And I feel like one of the reasons why they're doing that is kind of like as a treat, right, to dissociate, to escape, but also that's very dangerous, right? Very dangerous, right? Because if they're if they're very hopeless and very down and depressed and anxious and blah, 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 and they're looking at you as a treat to escape their reality, that's very dangerous. Could also be a karmic Pisces. Okay? So they're not focusing on what they're focusing on, and they're putting too much of the energy trying to figure out who, what, when, where, why with you, and it's just that's not something you need to be doing. But they're watching you be in the Six of Pentacles upright energy, and I feel like that's why there's so much unrest and disharmony within them, right? Because again, they put all their eggs in a basket because they thought this would be them. They thought they would be in the Six of Pentacles, getting and using power, other people's resources, right? You have all the support. They thought they would be in this energy. They thought they would have this, and they don't. And now they're like, what was me? This person might actually attempt to unalive themselves just because of they might be feeling like their walls are closing in. They can't breathe. They can't. It's their mind, right? And air sign's biggest enemy is their mind. Just as it is their best tool, it could also be their biggest enemy. All right. So this is a reading. Hope it helps. Bye.